Hi, I'm Steve, the Introverted Traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this edition, we hike back onto the Eagle Creek Trail in the Columbia River Gorge of Northern Oregon for a return visit to Tunnel Falls and beyond. Along the way, we will see spring wildflowers, beautiful waterfalls, lovely bridges, and scary cliffside trails. This and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings once again, and we are back on yet another adventure. And actually, this particular adventure today is one we've done before. I am on the Eagle Creek Trail, headed once again to Tunnel Falls. For those of you who don't know what Tunnel Falls is, it's a waterfall that has a tunnel behind it, and that's why they call it Tunnel Falls. But last time I was here was about 2 years ago. It was one of the first videos that I ever filmed and edited and put on YouTube that still hardly anybody has actually watched. But when I was here, it was the middle of the summer, it was the end of July, and it was about 100 degrees, 99 or something like that. Today, well, it's a little bit different. I don't know if you can tell, but there's streams coming down the cliffs there to form little mini waterfalls. And the water level is much higher than it was when I was here last time. And as I said, it's not, 100 freaking degrees. Unfortunately, the trailhead, unlike last time I was here, it was 100 degrees and there was hardly anybody out. This time, there's people. Now, there were only actually a few real live fleshy people at the parking lot, but there were cars everywhere. It was almost full. So, unfortunately, for my revisit Tunnel Falls today, there's gonna be people. There's probably gonna be talking. There's probably gonna be crappy, mundane conversations. And as you know, there will be ranting. Oh yes, there will be ranting. But until then, it's gonna be about a 7.5 mile in and a 7.5 mile out trek, maybe a little bit longer, because not only am I going to Tunnel Falls, which we've already seen before, I'm going to go beyond Tunnel Falls to Twister Falls and to whatever the other waterfall is, because I can't remember crap. And we're going to check those out as well. They're about 1.5 mile away, respectively. And yeah, so get ready for adventure. Get ready for, well, repetition, because this is a redo of a hike that I've already done, but totally different day, totally different season. And I've heard the waterfalls are raging. I've heard the creeks are raging. I've heard the bald introverts are raging. It's gonna be entertaining. Well, this is ominous. I'm pretty sure that sign has some valuable information that could possibly save my life, but parts of it are missing. So I may literally die because the sign is broken and hasn't been replaced. Or somebody vandalized it, which is much more, realistic. So yeah, trees are stressed. Wildfire and something. See on trail. Avoid area during and do not linger. I feel like it's really, really important that I piece all that together, but I'm not very good at that type of thing. So I'm just gonna say you stay on trail, avoid areas during times of lots of people, and do not linger around bad, mundane conversations, and look out for stressed trees. And there's really nothing funny about the sign. It's just, half of it's missing, so my imagination gets to go wild. Yeah, this is probably gonna be a stupid day. Not only is it gonna be, too many people here today, I'm just gonna be an idiot the entire day. But, that's not different from any other time. So you're used to it by now. Well, I always feel very safe and secure whenever I'm on a trail that is so thin and close to the edge. They have to have some sort of hand cable. I mean, I'm really not that close to the edge, but I do appreciate the ability to hang on if like a strong wind comes, or, you know, freaking Boy Scout troop comes through here or something like that. But yeah, I always feel so at ease knowing that, you know, I'm only a foot from dying, but at least I have something to try to hang on to as I'm slipping down the hill and falling to my death. You know, my fingers are of course slipping across this wet, you know, metal, and I'm not going to get a grip on it and I'm going to die, but at least I'm comforted that someone tried to save me, you know, that there's amenities out here just in case, you know. But yeah, in this scenario, I'm still dead. But hey, look, there's handrails. Or hand cable, or whatever you call it. Well, so far, I've only seen 2 other hikers, and they were relatively quiet, except they did say hello to me, and that is not acceptable. But aside from that, I haven't seen anybody else out here, except for at the parking lot. There were some people coming in, but so far they haven't caught up to me, and I'm going like super tortoise speed this morning. So if they're behind me, they're slower than I am, and that's kind of scary. But yeah, so I don't know how far I am so far. Probably about, under a mile, I'd assume. But look how beautiful that is. And this is exactly one of the reasons I came out here today, because when I was here in the summer, I mean, aside from being super hot, you know, nothing was green. It was, you know, it was middle of the summer, so the water was lower than it usually is, or when it is here in the spring, and things weren't sprouting and blooming and all that. Well, today, that looks gorgeous. There's a waterfall in the distance. It's one of those side canyon falls, so it's like a seasonal thing, but yeah, look how beautiful that is. Okay, so this is one of the major problems with this particular hike. There's a waterfall right there, and it is raging. Again, when I was here before, it was like a trickle, but it's absolutely raging. The only problem is, this is probably the best shot, especially on a GoPro, that you're gonna get of it. Because, I mean, when I was here before, it was hard to shoot, but now we got green stuff coming up everywhere, and yeah. Not that I'm complaining. I am not complaining about nature. I am literally not saying, well, why didn't nature know I was coming? I mean, nature can make it more convenient for, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's gonna be hard for me to shoot this. I also have no idea what waterfall that is. So, as I usually do, I'm just gonna make up a bunch of stupid names for it. Now, there are a few that I will know. I know Tunnel Falls, I know Twister Falls, I know, you know, Bald Introvert Falls and all that, but this one, this is Sadness in the Well of Despair. Yes, that's what we're calling that waterfall. And yes, I am starting to name waterfalls the same way a 15-year-old goth dude would. Sadness in the Well of Despair, right there in front of us. I have finally obtained a decent shot of a waterfall. But unfortunately, I think I actually know the name of that one. I wanted to call it something hilarious like Rain at Teardrop Falls or something like that, but no. Pretty sure that's Punch Bowl. I mean, look at that. That thing is roaring. Again, compared to the last time I saw it, that is beautiful. It's a swimming hole down there, and you know, in the summer. Right now it's like 50 degrees, so I'm pretty sure there's no risk of, you know, people in bathing suits down there, but yeah, that's awesome. Punch Bowl Falls. You gotta wonder what Tunnel Falls is gonna look like. I mean, that thing is like raging right now. Look at that thing. It's violent, it's angry. It's probably introverted and probably, you know, roaring into its own waterfall version of a GoPro.
And it's beautiful.
Punchbowl Falls, aka Rain and Teardrop Falls. Let's go. I've seen more people. I've seen people by themselves. I've seen couples. I've seen frat bros talking. And for whatever baffling reason, given how narrow and high up and dangerous this trail is, I'm seeing trail runners. So, to those trail runners out there, what the hell is wrong with you people? I mean, seriously, there are plenty of places to go running. There's tracks, there's nature trails and parks, there's the alleyway behind, you know, Walmart. You decide to come out to an incredibly dangerous trail and just shove all the hikers out of the way and like, oh, coming through, this is my hobby, coming through, I'm fit, look how fast I'm running on a cliff, I'm running on a cliff, I'm running on a cliff. My heavens. I mean, what if you trip? What if I trip? More importantly, what if I trip? I'm not running. I have to like dodge out of the way of this idiot coming through in like his Nikes and his REI gear going, oh, I'm trail running, I'm trail running, I'm trail running. I'll never understand it. I really don't have much else to say. I mean, the stupidity speaks for itself. You're out here on a dangerous hiking trail. Even the mountain bikers aren't out there. I mean, mountain bikers do some really dumb things, but they're not dumb enough to be out here.
And look at that. We found yet another waterfall. There's My Childhood Was Awful, the waterfall, right there. That's
My Childhood Was Awful Falls. I love giving things just random names. I have
absolutely no idea what it's actually called.
So depressing names it is.
My Childhood Was Awful.
I'm in total agreement with a waterfall. Let's go. I just got past like 2 more trail runners. Like seriously, did all of you trail runners go to the same party last night, drop a bunch of acid in and say, hey, let's go in the morning, the most dangerous trail we can find in the gorge, and possibly knock a bunch of hikers off the cliff while we're at it? Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, you've seen the trail, you've seen the cliffs. This is not a good idea. And yet I have to get out of the way because Mr. Fit REI Dude in running sneakers has decided to bring his ass out in the middle of the wilderness and blaze the trail down the most narrow path possible. I'm sorry, folks. Even mountain bikers don't make me this angry. And those people are idiots. Well, here we go again with yet another beautiful, but far away, waterfall. Don't know the name of this one either, so
Why Am I Still Alone Falls?
I'm just gonna keep naming it sad and depressing things, you know, for my own amusement mostly, but because I literally don't know. I mean, I know I have maps and the ability to look things up, but who the hell does that? That takes effort, and you've seen my videos. I put like 0 effort into everything.
So yeah, Why Am I Still Alone? The waterfall version.
By the person who asked that many, many times in his college years.
Waterfall.
Introvert. Let's go. Well, as is typical for this hike, there is a beautiful, gorgeous waterfall out in the bushes where I can't see it. So
I don't know if you can see the GoPro, it's right around there.
And we're just gonna call this Why Doesn't Anybody Notice Me Falls, because of
obvious reasons.
One of the big differences between hiking today And when I did it 2 years ago, is unfortunately people. We've already heard about the trail runners, but when I did it the first time, and again, it was 100 degrees in the middle of July, or the end of July, and there was hardly anybody out here. There were a few maniacs, you know, basking in the sun, but aside from that, not that many people. And I'm going super fast because I'm being trailed by people. There's people in the distance, there's people passing me, there's people coming in the other direction. I mean, weren't these people notified that I was coming? I mean, don't they know that I was here? But, and that's a joke, by the way. For those of you who don't know when I'm joking, that was joking. However, what I will say is that compared to 2 years ago, when I first started filming these hikes, I am a lot more paranoid. I swear, I feel like the grizzled veteran in one of those old Vietnam War movies. You know, head on a swivel, always eyes darting around, always looking for snipers in the bushes. Except instead of bullets, in my case, I'm dodging hellos and good mornings and smiles and greetings and oh. The horror, folks. The horror. Squishy, 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 squishy. I was just passed by yet another trail runner. Let me show you the trail.
Oh yeah, it's
a great idea to be running out here. Just genius. Oh, I swear. People get dumber every hike. I personally think I'm getting more intelligent, but they're getting dumber. But whatever, I'm almost to Tunnel Falls. I probably have another half mile, a mile, somewhere around that, but the behavior of some people out here, just a crass stupidity.
I mean, you could sprint through this, right?
Great terrain for it, folks. Let's go. Okay, I may be old, but I can still remember things, especially from 2 years ago, most of the time. Now, I'm hearing roaring. I'm right near Tunnel Falls. I know there's gonna be 1,000 people over at Tunnel Falls. We know it's beautiful and all that, but there is a little waterfall right before it. I don't know what it is. You know I don't know anything. But
let's do a reveal, because I haven't seen it in a couple years, and it sounds absolutely roaring right now, so. Oh wow, that's cool. Check this out. All right, so
there's going to be too many people at Tunnel Falls.
And when I saw it before, it wasn't that impressive, but now,
wow. So I guess the time to come out here is spring, but probably during the week because there'll be people. There'll be way too many people.
But there's a waterfall.
Tunnel Falls, I believe, is next. So. Let's gird ourselves for the pain and suffering that is other people. Okay, Tunnel Falls is right around the corner. We've seen it before, but I'm gonna let you guys have the springtime reveal with me. Come on.
There it is, in all of its glory. I see the tunnel.
I don't see the people yet, but you know they're there.
But seriously, how freaking awesome is that?
So you remember that trail runner I told you about that passed me a few minutes ago? I just saw her running behind Tunnel Falls.
Seriously.
I don't know who needs to know this, nor do I know why,
But do not run on this trail. Seriously.
do you want to go over there? I don't want to go over there. Yeah. Don't run. Don't skip. Don't jump. And I had to cut the shot because heat. And I swear, all of you are filming this thing on your freaking iPhone. As an amateur photographer who's only so good, it's still embarrassing to watch so many people film things on an iPhone. GoPro's like $400, folks. It's a way better camera. Get one.
But yeah, there's people over there. There's a beautiful waterfall.
Now let's go ahead and go check out the other two waterfalls, and then we're going home. That's why it's called Twister Falls. I get it now. All right, we got our last one. Someone told me that's 7 Mile Falls. I don't know. I mean, it's better than me making up more names at this point because I'm tired. People don't know how exhausting this is.
But yeah, there you go. You got another waterfall.
I'm gonna hike just a little bit longer. I'll see if I can get a better shot. And then we're going home. And I gotta pee. I'm gonna go pee. You don't need to be with me for that one.
But yeah, 7 Mile.
All right, I'm officially out in the middle of the woods. Why am I out in the middle of the woods? Well, I had to pee, as we know, and there were people everywhere. I thought I found a secluded spot, and people. Okay, let's get this straight, folks. It's not just that I'm an introvert and I don't like to be around people. There's just too many of you. I mean, you're choking the planet to death. You're choking my brain to death. We gotta do something about this. I propose that on really busy hiking trails like this one, that the US Forest Service just airdrop condoms everywhere. Just dump condoms everywhere. You know, prophylactic. So, you know, we can help to prevent future generations of too many damn people on my trail. I mean, there's nothing we can do about the people that are here already. I mean, they're already here, unfortunately. But we can do our best to try to get all of the people on the trail today not to make little people on the trail for tomorrow. Okay, I just peed next to a stream. I thought that was actually kind of cool. And I'm headed back, so let's go back. Well, we're almost to the point where I have to do that scary ass ledge next to Twister Falls again. Again, the things I do for my art. Well, the hike has turned into a nightmare. Unfortunately, given the fact that I am a slow tortoise, I got here right at prime people time. So Tunnel Falls, which I love and which I had all to myself for like 20 or 30 minutes one day when it was 100 degrees and it was like the middle of the week. It is now the Instagram selfie spot, which I'm sure, you know, me putting out videos and everybody putting out videos about Tunnel Falls has not helped that. And I really don't care about that, but I'm here. And so there were people everywhere. And I'm actually waiting. There was a gigantic herd, and yes, we are now classifying people as herds, of just trail runners and people and gawkers, and oh, they're all ahead of me now. So I'm just hanging back and waiting for them to misery their way down the trail so I don't have to endure the presence of, oh. Human beings are like mental vampires. Just being close to another person is like just having my brain sucked out of my head. But that's okay. Now they're just standing in the middle of the trail. Oh, this is gonna be a nice hike for the rest of the day, folks. There's too many of you out here. I'm telling you, the Forest Service needs to drop condoms so people will stop breeding. We don't need future generations of hikers. We got plenty of hikers. We need like future generations of people staying home and leaving me alone. That's what we need. So you remember that video where I fell on my ass? Well, probably not because I've had a few of them, but
The one where I fell my ass in water, that was right there. And look at that waterfall. That is absolutely beautiful.
now I crossed earlier and I didn't film or tell you where I was because, say it with me, people. However,
I can tell you, everyone is crossing on these logs over here, right here. I actually got in the water and crossed over there.
it is knee deep and I'm a tall guy, so I'm actually thinking about doing the logs this time.
I don't usually do logs, but
I almost fell and broke my skull when I went to the water earlier. Of course, I was holding a selfie stick, so there's nothing smart about any of the stuff I'm telling you. You know, I got across the creek, obviously that's smart, but there's no smart way in which I look like a genius.
so I'll just show you the waterfall. I don't have any idea what that fall is called, so
That is now I fell in my ass falls.
and yeah.
I'm not gonna film this one because seriously, last time that I filmed, I seriously almost slipped because I was holding the selfie stick and I almost, you know, fell in water and cracked my skull and almost died. I almost died filming on a selfie stick. So this time I'm gonna be smart, unless it's easy, and then I'll turn on the camera, but
Waterfall!
all right, so I'm back here. I'm at the high bridge, which is about 3.3 miles from the trailhead, and I'm making my way back slowly, very, very slowly. The average time of this hike was like 5.5 hours or something, and I'm already over 6. So they need to have a tortoise average. If you were to put me with like a box turtle and a tortoise, and we all started at the trailhead, and then you know, did whatever it is you have to do to motivate the box turtle and the tortoise, put a stick in carrot or whatever, and then motivate me, you know, put a sandwich on the end of a fishing line and put it over my head, and then timed how long it took the tortoise and the turtle, the box turtle, to get to Tunnel Falls compared to me, and then average out that time. But I'm pretty sure I would be in 3rd place. I'm almost sure, because well, one of the things is tortoises and turtles live a long time, and their middle age is way past our middle age, and I'm very middle aged right now. I'm feeling it in the knees. I'm feeling it in the feet. I'm feeling it in the back. I wish I had a shell. I wish I had 4 legs. I wish I had something other than, you know, the flawed human structure that I am trapped within. But none of that is relevant at all because I'm at High Bridge, 3.3 miles from the trailhead, and I'm doing okay. And I'm going off on weird tangents about turtles and tortoises, but that's welcome to Sunday. Well, I'm back at the punch bowl. And that means I am only a couple of miles away from the trailhead. According to all trails, I'm about 2.11 miles, but who knows if that's accurate or not because all trails. But I figured it would be a good time, especially since I'm starting to head back into people land, for us to do our trail rating. Now, the first time I did this, 2 years ago, I don't believe I even did trail ratings at that particular time. It was a couple of videos past that I started putting them in. So I've never rated this trail. What I will tell you is there are really 2 separate ratings. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst possible thing ever for an introvert, and that is the hellish terror that is Disneyland on the 4th of July, with people everywhere, food vendors throwing popcorn at you know, people who are buying popcorn, children screaming, adults screaming, Mickey Mouse on a torture rack, whatever else they do there. Well, that's the worst possible thing that an introvert could encounter. But introvert nirvana is a 10 on the scale, and that would be middle of a field in Antarctica with only you and the penguins, no costume mascots being tortured on racks, just you, and you know, it's a summer day, it's warm, there's a snowbank. That would be wonderful. No humans for hundreds of thousands of miles. That sounds like pure bliss, folks. So on that scale, my original hike, which I did on a Thursday when it was 100 degrees in mid-July or the end of July, that one I would have rated this trail as a 9. It was quiet, there was hardly anybody here, but it was also on a Thursday in the end of July in 100-degree heat. Now, on a more representative time, such as today, I'm gonna give this trail an absolute 2. I'm not gonna give it a 1 because I didn't see Mickey Mouse, you know, trying to throw Pluto over Tunnel Falls, but I will tell you, Tunnel Falls, unfortunately, is defiled by 1,000 people standing there at once trying to take selfies, walking the trail, talking, blah, 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 blah. And of course, I was rudely interrupted by the presence of, say it with me, people. But to get back to the point, unfortunately, Tunnel Falls is now pretty much a social circle. There's people there standing around. It's a little bit better once you get past Tunnel Falls and you go to Twister Falls. Twister Falls, by the way, is scary as hell. And then if you go even further, especially if you have to go find a place to pee like I did, it gets fewer and fewer people. So I guess that's a good thing, but overall, unfortunately, today, the trail got a 2. And it's not uncommon here in the Columbia River Gorge. The Forest Service, unfortunately, does not regulate this place very well. They regulate Multnomah Falls a little bit, but they've turned this entire area into Disneyland. There's people running around, there's people screaming, there's people doing this, there's people doing that. I'm just waiting for the torture racks to show up. Our other rating, the misery index, scale of 1 to 5, 1 being a pipe dream because I'm always somewhat miserable to 1 degree or another, and 1 would be no misery, and a 5, of course, being extremely miserable. Well, I reached a 5 and more when there were people there. But for the most part, what I will say about this trail is in the parts in between the really cool stuff, it's not terrible. I did find some solitude. I found some self-reflection. I found some silence. I found the ability to stand here and, you know, ramble into a GoPro. But those times in the trail aren't where the cool things that you want to see are. So overall, the trail gets a 2. It caused misery to the extreme in certain places. overall I would say it was probably at a 2 or a 3 in the non-people parts, but again, that wasn't the cool parts of the trail that I was here to see. So if you do decide to come out here, I wouldn't recommend doing it at 100-degree weather either, but maybe do it at a time when the people are occupied elsewhere. I don't know, maybe when it is a little bit warmer, maybe when it, well, I would say, I have no idea. I mean, I would recommend when it's raining, but it's raining right now and there's been people everywhere all day. So I'll let you figure out the time, but I will say, it is beautiful out here. This is a gym in the Columbia River Gorge, so I do recommend seeing it at some point. Maybe if you come at 4 o'clock in the morning. There's all sorts of variations on it, but just do me a favor, don't come out here when I'm out here. I mean, that's all I ask. But anyway, that's the trail rating for today. That's the misery index. I'm getting wet, and I'm going back. I am about a mile from the trailhead, and that means a mile from the end of this hike, and a mile from my wonderful, beautiful, gray, dented Prius. So, that means it's time to say goodbye. However, before that, let's do a quick recap. Today, we're repeating a hike. Probably one of the first times I've repeated an entire hike, but I wanted to do Tunnel Falls when it was fresh, when the waterfalls were full, when the grass was green, when the leaves were chirping, when the birds were sprouting, all that good spring stuff. Unfortunately, that's also when the people are here. So today we got to see a whole bunch of beautiful waterfalls. We got to see some lovely forests. We got to see some lovely wildflowers. And then we got to see trail runners almost falling off the cliff because they're nuts. And we got to see people taking selfies right in front of Tunnel Falls pretty much the entire time. I think I got 1 or 2 clear shots of it, and then it was selfie city after that. But we also got to see Twister Falls. We got to see 7 Mile Falls, if that's what it's even called. I don't know, someone just said that. I'm running with it. And I got to make up a bunch of names for other waterfalls because to me, that's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, you know. So, that's the end of yet another adventure. But I will be back. Of course, I promise that. Until then, though, stay introverted. And I'll see you on the next adventure.